We have Lauren Harrison today, and this is super cool because I've known you since you were, I think I've first met you when you were a junior in high school. It was when you were playing 17s for Tsunami, and you were playing at Woodward, and we were. I don't know if this was 17s or 18th year, but we were playing grass behind Woodward, and
Oh
yeah,
yes.
that was just super fun back then. It's just like cool memories I had of you, and especially because you're playing pro now. It's like, oh, I, I played with the pro. So just cool memories. So you went to high school at Woodward. You um, played at Tsunami. You were a Tsunami alum, and then you went on to play at UNC, and then eventually played at Baylor and graduated from Baylor. And now you are playing in Switzerland in the Swiss Pro League. Am I right on that?
Yes, you're right. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So tell us your volleyball journey and like how you got started with volleyball and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah. So I started playing volleyball when I was around maybe 13, 14, like early middle school ages.
Oh,
And
wow.
I used to play tennis before, and I was just tired of the single person sport and just having to play outside in the hot summers. I was like, I just need something different. And
Yeah,
so I found volleyball, and my mom found some clinics that Tad was hosting at Woodward, and so I went to those, and I was like, I really like this, like I want to keep doing it, and so my parents signed me up for Tsunami because it's only like 15 minutes away from Woodward, so it was close. I could just go right after school, and so I started my first year with Grooms as my first coach at Tsunami.
nice.
Yeah, and ever since then, I just loved it. And around 10th grade or ninth grade,
Hmm.
I started to like really take it serious. And I was like, okay, like I want to go to college. I want to get a scholarship. And so I worked to get a scholarship, and that's how I went to UNC. Um, and then I transferred to Baylor after my second year. I had to sit out my first year because I tore my ACL.
Oh,
After my yeah, after my red shirt year, I transferred to Baylor and really liked it. I had a lot of fun. I got better. I met a lot of people there. And then towards the last season at Baylor, I was like, all right, I'm kind of ready to put the ball down, ready to go into the real world, get a job, see what happens. And so I took a semester off of like no volleyball. I went to the gym to train with the team maybe once or twice because my coach was like, you can always come back and train if you want to. So I went once or twice, and I didn't really miss it. And then I went one last time, and I was like, wait, I kind of really miss this, and I don't want to get a working office job yet. So let's see where I can take this. So in April, last April, within the span of like 3 weeks, I got an agent or signed with an agent, and then she found me a team, and then I signed with the team here in Switzerland, and now I'm here, and I love it, and I want to keep playing.
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's quite a journey.
Yes.
Quite a journey. So
Yeah.
you actually started at 13. So a lot of people would consider that late in the like volleyball world, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. There were some girls on my team who had been playing since they were like 8 or 9, and me being the 13-year-old, not knowing anything, it was an experience, but I would say, yeah, for some people that is late, but at the same time, I feel like when you're so young, playing so many different sports can help you. And
Hmm.
I'm glad that I didn't just stop right then, and I still played tennis for a little bit, and then
Hmm.
eventually just moved strictly to volleyball.
Nice. So what advice would you give? Because a lot of parents feel this like that I talk to, like, oh my God, like I just got my girl into volleyball and everyone has so much more experience. Everyone started so young. Um,
Mhm.
so like what advice would you give to that athlete that is starting a little bit later, like at 13s, like when you did? Like what advice would you give them if they wanted to play at the next level, but they just feel like they're a little late to the game.
I would definitely say to One, don't be overwhelmed by starting too late. I mean, there are a lot of players out there who don't start till they're 16, 17 and end up playing in college. So
Mhm.
don't be, or like, don't harp on the fact that you're starting too late. Just try to get in the gym as much as you can. But I think it's really important not to get burned out because
Yeah.
if you're just volleyball all the time at such a young age, I feel like that can definitely happen. So, like I said, just making sure that, yes, you're training for volleyball, but you're also doing other things, other sports, to just keep it kind of fresh and not just harping on one thing. And then once you reach about, I don't know, maybe 14, 15, then you can, if you really want to play volleyball, then just completely focus on volleyball and school, obviously, and then take it from there.
Nice, nice, nice. So your ACL injury. So what happened? And also, like, what was your rehab process like? Because I know that that's a very common injury in this sport. So like for those athletes that are even like, and because you went through the rehab process, like just being, you probably understand really well like how to train to for your knee and
Mhm.
how to train to have healthy like a healthy knee joint and whatnot. So like what happened and like give the people out there like because I know so many athletes that are dealing with knee pain and stuff. So give them some advice here.
Yes, so I actually was not playing volleyball. I
Oh,
was, yeah, it was at our school, at our high school, we had like a spring fling type of thing, and at the end of spring fling, the junior girls would play the senior girls in flag football. And so I was playing flag football and I don't remember, either I tripped or some girl like accidentally tripped me and I just fell to the field and I heard like a loud pop. Then I was like, oh gosh. And so I got up, like the trainers helped me up and like walked me over to the athletic training room and she was doing some knee tests and stuff, but she was like, I mean, it feels fine, but we won't really know anything till you have imaging done. And so I got imaging done later and I found out that I tore my ACL. And I can laugh about it now, but my
yeah,
mom told me the day before, she was like, don't play flag football. Like you're leaving for UNC in a month. Like the last thing you want to do is get hurt. And I
yeah,
was like, oh no, like I've had to sacrifice so much for volleyball. Like I just want to play.
yeah.
She's like, okay, do what you want to do. And obviously I did, and we see what happened. Listen to your parents. But yeah, it was definitely a hard experience just going into college. You look forward to playing for basically all the years that you're committed to that university, and not being able to do that for the first 9 months was definitely a challenge. But I would say I grew so much as a athlete, as a person, just all around because I had a lot of time to just sit and watch the game of volleyball, like learn different shots, learn uh, things to make myself a better player. And so while it was definitely a hard experience, it helped me a lot. And I don't think I would be where I am today if it wouldn't have happened. As weird as that may sound.
No, I understand that a lot because like a lot of times when we're like just on go 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 all the time and like we don't kind of slow down and look at the other stuff that could make us better. When you're forced to stop from like an
Mhm.
injury or something, like it definitely forces you to kind of take a step back and now you got to kind of think, okay, like what can I do? Even though I'm not out there doing it, what can I do
Yeah.
to still get better? So it's like it's a different mindset and it definitely helps you grow as a person because it is a tough experience. So like let's go like you said, you can laugh about it now, but like kind of dive into like what emotion or like what was your thought process when you got injured and when you found out that you got an ACL? Like I know because it must have sucked.
Yes. So when I got injured, I was like, I heard a pop and I was like, I was trying to tell myself it didn't happen, but it did. And so like I went home and I told my parents, and my dad's a surgeon, so he knew a orthopedic surgeon at like the hospital by that close by that I could get like a appointment with and get an MRI and like get it back stat or like really fast.
Hmm.
And so my dad was like, yeah, it's probably just like some, bruised bone or something. Probably just trying to keep me like optimistic and not just be like, yeah, you probably tore something. So I got it the next day and the surgeon was like, okay, I'm going to call your dad whenever the results come in from your MRI. And I got it at like 8 in the morning. And he was supposed to get the results at probably 11 or 12. And so I called him around that time and he didn't answer. And I called him again. I kept calling him. And usually if I call him, he'll like answer or either like call me right back. So then I was like, okay, something must be going on here. And so I was sitting on the stairs, like talking to my mom, and my dad walks in the door and we just like both stare at him and he's like, you tore your ACL. And I just um like burst into tears.
Hmm.
It was a mixture of like sad, mad, frustrated, like what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to start college in next month. So it was definitely a mix of a lot of emotions. But fortunately I had my parents, my support system, everyone there to help me through it. And the trainers and people at UNC really helped me as well.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that those support systems are so important, like in tough times like that, for
Yeah.
sure. So what was the rehab process like? And like what exercises did you feel like helped you a lot in like coming back?
Yeah, the rehab process was definitely hard. A lot of times when your muscles are tired, you're like mentally tired and you don't want to go anymore. That definitely happened quite often, but I just had to tell myself like this is how you get back on the court. So you kind of have no option because you want to keep playing. One of the exercises or some of the exercises that really helped me before surgery and after surgery were like quad activation um, exercises. I worked a lot on my hamstrings just to kind of strengthen the muscles surrounding the knee.
Mhm.
Um, Once I was able to like walk, and then I was able to run, and then I just progressed to on court stuff, but without the change of direction. And then lastly, like change of direction, jumping, all that kind of stuff was the final part of rehab that kind of got me back onto the court full time.
Nice. So how
Mhm,
long did that process take from like surgery until you got surgery?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, from surgery until you felt like you were like 100%. Well, I wouldn't say 100%. From surgery until you were able to get back on the court.
Yeah, so that was a total of 9 months.
Nine
Um,
months.
I got surgery in June and I
Hmm.
started back in February. Yeah. So 9 months. When I came back, I didn't feel 100% like,
Exactly. That's why I said
yeah.
like not 100%.
Yeah. I felt like I couldn't really jump as high or it was just different.
Hmm.
But in reality, I feel like my leg was stronger than the other leg because I had been doing
Mm.
so much single leg stuff and working on that one leg so much that it came back stronger than the other one. And then it took
Nice.
me about 3 months after I came back to finally feel like, okay, like I'm feeling like myself again.
Yeah, like psychologically, like you're
Mhm.
able to push it the way that you're used to pushing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I get that because I've dealt with injuries myself, and like even when there's no pain and you feel like you can play, like there's that psychological aspect of like, should I push it like a
Yeah.
hundred percent? What if I hurt it again? Like all those thoughts like just come up, and it's tough to deal with, and it takes time for you to get confident in your own body again. So yeah, those are great insights. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so my next question for you is, what are some tips for young athletes that wants to compete at a high level and dreams of going pro one day?
Mm, I would say, hmm, first off, be a good teammate. I think that's really important for your not just volleyball wise, but in life, be a person that people want to be around, that people want to play with, that You know, you can have fun on the court and make the game fun. Don't be the, I think Tad used to call him like the energy drainer or something. Don't be
Yeah,
that person.
he still says that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Energy vampire.
Empire, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So one, be a person that is like just be a good teammate. Two, I would say you're never too good to continue improving. Like no matter what level you're at, there's always someone who's right behind you trying to get better than you. And there's always someone ahead of you who is better than you.
Mhm.
So never get the big head and think, oh, well, I'm committed now. I've made it.
Right.
No,
Stay
you have
humble.
accomplished a lot, but you
Yeah.
haven't made it. Yeah. And then lastly, I would say just hard work. There will be a lot of times when you may not feel like getting in the gym that day or may not feel like going to practice that day just because you're tired and you've had a hard day at school or whatever it may be. Like life just happens. But just remember that when you come to volleyball practice, allow that to be like your, I don't know, like you're out from everything going on in the outside world to just forget about your hard day at school, whatever may be going on, and focus solely on volleyball. Um, and then I think just have fun. Like if you're not having fun, then why are you putting so much time and
Yeah.
energy into something that you don't have fun with?
Yeah. I think that having fun a bit is underrated because it is like it helps you from getting burnt out. Like helps you from getting burnt out so that
Hmm.
you can stay and put in those reps. Because at the end of the day, like, can you play at a high level without having fun? Yes. Will you? Most likely not, because you're probably gonna quit because
Hmm.
you're not having fun anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
So underrated.
for sure.
Unless you have some like some crazy David Goggins, Kobe Bryant mindset. Like,
Oh, yeah.
but they
Yeah.
like Kobe Bryant probably had fun with basketball. He loved basketball. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite volleyball memory?
Oh, favorite volleyball memory. Hmm. I would say I'm gonna do one from like high school and college or
Okay.
younger and
Yeah, yeah,
college.
yeah, yeah. That's fine.
Okay. One of my favorite volleyball memories for when I was younger was my first time going to Big South. I used to always hear everyone talk about Big South, Big South. And I think my first year, we were like, we didn't go to Big South. We weren't really that good to be
Mhm.
going there. So we just didn't go. And so I think it was my 13th year with Tad, I want to say, when I finally got to go. And it was just, like, wow, like I'm at Big South. This is what I've been dreaming about. So a younger memory, definitely going to Big South.
Mhm.
Um, Once I got to high school, I would say probably making it to the state championship at Woodward was a really big memory for me. It was all my best friends played volleyball in high school. So going to the state championship with them was just really fun. And I know Woodward hadn't been in like a few years. So that was good for the volleyball program. And then something that I like specifically remember from Woodward volleyball is every Monday before practice, we would always like sit down in a circle. And I don't know if you've heard the song, it's like, tell me something good. And so,
I have not heard that song.
okay, ask Tad about it, ask Tad.
Okay.
And so we would say that and like go around and say something that was good about our weekend. And
That's
it's something,
awesome.
yeah, something very small like that, but it stuck with me this long, and I will never forget that.
Yeah.
And then college wise, I would say going to the tournament for my first time in 21, the spring of 21, when we had like two seasons. It was the COVID year, so it was
Yeah.
kind of strange, but yeah, going to the tournament the first time was definitely really fun. That was always my goal as a collegiate athlete to make it to the tournament. And once I finally did, it was fun. I really
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Those those are great memories. Especially the ones that feel like the ones that are younger that kind of shapes you. those are my favorite. Like,
Yeah.
and I can only imagine like as a young kid, like walking into Big South for the first time, because
Yeah.
as a young adult, like, because I started teaching when I was in a junior in high school, in not a junior in college, so I was like
Mhm.
22, 23, 22-ish, and I remember walking into Big South for the first time as an adult, and I was like, where has this been all my life?
I
It
know.
was so like it was something out of a dream. It's so big. Yeah, it was so big. There's so many teams. It like yeah, it's one of the biggest tournaments in the world. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, so
Hmm.
it's like it's surreal sometimes. Like when and as a 13-year-old, like I can only imagine like you walking in there, you've been dreaming about this, you've been hearing about this, you've been dreaming about this, and you walk in there, it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what are some things that teammates do that you appreciate?
Um, I would say I appreciate the teammates who kind of know when you're in a rut, I guess you can call it, or like in a lull, and they're like, "Hey, you're fine. Like you got this. Like next ball or next pass or whatever it may be." The ones who can just say a simple phrase and like kind of help you snap out. And I would also say the ones who are competitive but like to have fun at the same time. I would say I'm definitely a competitive person, and although I obviously don't like to lose, it's part of the game. Like it's
Yeah.
inevitable, it's gonna happen. But the people who are just so competitive, they like to have fun and like to make others around them better. I
Hmm.
would say those are the my favorite type of teammates.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
it's it's so it's so much fun to be with teammates that are competitive, and especially at practice when they compete against you. It's like,
Mhm.
what's up? Like, what's it gonna be today? Like and
Yeah.
it makes practice more fun. It makes just playing more fun. Like competing with each other. Obviously, you competing with yourself to get better, but when you have a teammate there to drive you and compete against you and kind of bounce off that energy with, like it's yeah, I feel you on that. Those are also my favorite types of teammates.
Yeah, for sure. In college, my coach at Baylor would kind of push us to like talk little trash to the net,
Yeah,
like just compete with each other. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, like once we're off the court, then it's like, okay, like you're back to just being my roommate. But when you're
yeah,
across the net, like it's on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely like think like for guys it's natural. For guys it's like we just do that everywhere, not just like on the court. We do that literally everywhere. And we like I remember when I was younger. I mean even now, but when I was younger, I'd be like, I bet you can't touch that. Put 5 push-ups on it. Like anytime we trash talk and I know I have the upper hand, I'm like, put a meal on it. Like at Tsunami, we do this all the time. We have a ping pong table in the office now. So like
Oh gosh.
and a pickleball net.
Oh wow.
We would be playing other sports and stuff, and we would just be trash talking. And once like the trash talking gets to a certain level, I'll just be like, put a meal on it. Like stop talking. Just put a meal on it.
Great.
And there's just something that about like having something external, like having a bet that just drives guys. I don't know. But for girls, I know it's a little bit different. Um,
Mhm.
it's a little bit different because like you got to watch what you say sometimes because like girls can sometimes take it, like they can just kind of run away with
They
what you
take
said
it
and
like
take it home.
personally.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
take it
Mhm.
personally. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. So there's definitely a balance with that with the trash talk. So is that something that you feel like you had to learn to do, trash talking?
Yeah, I would say like I said, I'm a competitive person, but trash talking isn't something that I really do. I'd rather just like shut you up by like blocking you or getting a kill or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like actually verbalizing it isn't something that I really do. Unless they talk to me first, then I'll
Yeah.
talk back. But
Okay. Yeah.
I don't really start it myself.
Do you feel like trash talk can get in like an opponent's head and make them like because the MJs, the Kobe Bryants, like you hear stories about how they get in people's heads
Yeah.
and with their trash talk, and they basically beat you mentally. Like,
Hmm.
do you think like that's a thing that happens often in like a women's volleyball setting?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's very, like you said, mentally. Like if someone beats you mentally, then they've already won
Yeah,
because if you're not in it mentally, then you're physically you can't catch up or follow up. So yeah, I definitely think that trash talking can really affect someone. But I would say like be make sure it's not like in a disrespectful way, if
yeah,
that makes sense. Like
yeah,
just out of the competitive spirit is fine, but once it gets disrespectful, then it's like, okay,
yeah,
chill out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes like people be watching too many MJ stories, and like and just NBA overall, like it's a lot of like disrespectful like trash talking
Mhm.
because they'll just say whatever like
Right.
they can to get that edge, but
Mhm.
it's yeah, it's different for other stuff.
Yeah.
So what are some differences that you see between club volleyball, college, and then professional volleyball?
Mhm. I would say club volleyball is, compared to college at least, is slower. Um, like in terms of the speed of the ball. In college, people are lifting weights every day, so people are stronger. The ball is coming at you a lot faster than versus when you're 16 or 17. In club volleyball, you're only playing against your age. So like your 16-year-old group or your 17-year-old group, whatever it may be. But in college, you can be playing against someone who's 22, 23. So I think the biggest difference is like the strength of the athletes and
Hmm.
just the speed of the game is a lot faster. And you have to be able to catch on and like react quicker than club. Um, and I would say with professional, people are, or at least here in Switzerland, people are a little shorter, so they have to be skilled in different ways.
Mm.
So they're um like they play like beach players almost. They have like the shots down, they have like the deceptive different plays. So that's the main thing I would say here. It's kind of the same speed as college, but yeah, I would just say they're skilled differently, basically.
Gotcha, gotcha. They work
Yeah.
on yeah, they work on different skills. That makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, so right now I'm coaching 17s, and
Hmm.
they're getting ready for college and everything. And I coached 17s last year. So the 18s right now are like my athletes from last year.
Yeah.
And like what is some advice to them to be ready for the ones that are going to college and getting ready to play? What advice would you give to them to be ready to play or compete at the next level?
I would say continue to get in the gym and train and if you haven't started lifting weights now, at least try to like understand some concepts, like understand some different exercises because the first or second day when you get to college, you're gonna hit the weight room and you're doing all these different exercises. And if you've never done it before, it can sometimes be a little overwhelming. So if you've experienced it in at least some sort of way before you get to college, that will definitely help you a lot. And then I would also say I think I said this earlier, but just because you've committed and you're going to college doesn't mean you can just chill out and relax.
Yeah.
Like you still have work to complete. I'm sure you can still get a lot better. Um, so just stay humble in that way and knowing that, like, pat yourself on the back. Like, yes, you've accomplished a lot. You've done a lot. Like, you're going to college to play a sport, and that isn't an easy task at all. But just remember, like, I'm my goal by going here is to reach the next level, and don't forget what you have to do to reach the next level.
Love that. Love that advice. And like, do you know who Ton is?
Ton.
Curly hair, long hair.
Was he there when I was there?
I don't know. He might have not have been. He might have came after you, but he and I are running the strength program at Tsunami. So
Okay.
like this year was our first year implementing like a customized like because everyone is doing like workouts from like 13. the 13s team all the way to the 16s, 17s, all the way to the 17s. They're working out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. But on for the 18s, they're working out. They're practicing on Monday, Wednesday. I think they practice on Sunday too. But their workouts are Mondays, Wednesdays, and we customize like a whole like hour for them to learn the main lifts that you might see in college. So like back squatting, like we're introducing cleaning to them. Did you guys clean in college?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Back squat or front squat?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that so like just being understanding of how to engage your core,
Mhm.
bracing so that you can load your back without getting hurt. Just like introducing those concepts to them. They don't like it right now, but like I guarantee you by the time they go to college and they start it and they're way ahead of their teammates when they
Yeah.
get in that weight room and their coaches know see that they actually know what they're doing and they don't have to teach them all this, like it's they're gonna look back and be like, yeah, I'm glad I did that. But they are not liking it right now. They're like, we just do yoga today.
Yes, that was definitely me as well, but it'll pay off. It'll definitely
I
pay off.
thank you. I'm gonna send this to them.
Yes, please do.
um so is there a language, because you know how important communication is in volleyball. Is there a language barrier playing overseas, and like how does that play into like the communication aspect of the game?
Yes, I would definitely say they're so all my teammates, they speak English like pretty fluently. So on the court, it hasn't been any type of barrier. I
Hmm.
would say the biggest language barrier has been like when we're not playing volleyball and we're just kind of all hanging around and they speak French, obviously. I mean, that's their first language, so they're most comfortable speaking that. And I don't really know what they're saying, so I'm just kind of just sitting here like observing, or at
Right.
least that's how it was like my first couple weeks. And then I started taking French classes. So now I can kind of understand
That's
better.
awesome. That's awesome that you're like learning a whole new language when you're over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the language barrier was definitely a challenge when I first got here. But now that like I said, started taking classes, my fiance's first language is actually French. So he
Oh,
can
wow.
help. Yeah, he's been helping me. So
Nice.
yeah, it's gotten easier for sure.
That's awesome. So are you conversational now in French, or are you just still like kind of like just kind of bits and pieces?
I would say kind of bits and pieces. Like if someone asks like how was your day, I can say that. I can like order food. Um, I hear lot of volleyball terms, obviously, because at practice and stuff. So I know like some terms in that area, but just more bits and pieces. And when someone speaks it back to me is the hardest because they talk so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, can you say that again a little slower?
That's that's funny. Like I can't imagine because I came over here when I was says 7, but that's how I'm like in Vietnamese now. Like English
Mhm.
is actually my primary language now. Yeah, I joke with my athletes all the time when I like don't enunciate well or pronounce something well. I'm like, English is my second language. Give me a break. But it's actually my primary language now. And Vietnamese is like my Vietnamese is only conversational. I'm not fluent in it at all.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like that's how I'd be like with Vietnamese. I'm like, can you like I was like slow down.
Yeah.
Um, so I watched a little bit of your game. Tad sent it to me.
Okay.
Your game last night, and I noticed something that there's like the jersey has a thing in the back that says top scorer. What like tell me a little bit about that.
So yes, that I think it's only in the Swiss League, but I could be wrong.
Mhm.
So basically, whoever has the most points on your team, like as like a cumulative for the whole season, wears the jersey that says top scorer, and then at the end of the season, there's a company or like an organization here that donates Either it's 40,000 or 400,000. I don't, it's a
That's a
big
big
gap.
difference.
I'm not, I'm not sure which one it is,
Okay,
but
that's cool.
whoever's top scorer in the league, they will get some of that money. Or like their
Nice.
club, sorry, the club will get
Yeah,
that
yeah.
money.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. And are you the top scorer in the league right now?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I saw the email like your dad sent to Tad because he forwarded the email to me.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, Tad forwarded the email to me.
Oh, I
Not
didn't know my dad emailed
yeah,
him.
yeah, your dad emailed it to him.
Oh.
And and yeah, it says that you are the top scorer in the Swiss league, pro league
Mhm.
right now. So that's super cool. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, have you ever considered playing pro in the States?
Yes. With the new PBF and Love League starting, I think it's definitely a great opportunity for people who like coming right out of college and don't want to come to Europe
Hmm.
to stay at home, stay in the States and play, or people who have been in Europe and want to come back to the States and play close to family, like or in front of family and friends. So
Hmm.
yes, definitely have considered that contracts now for like the pro season next year are starting to open up and like teams are starting to, I guess, recruit or scout people.
Hmm.
So it's definitely an option that I'm looking at.
Nice, nice. It would be nice to play at home where like your friends and families can come out and watch you and support. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely like if you come back and play, I'll definitely come out and watch you. That'd be so cool. Like seeing someone that I've seen from high school, club, go to college and play, and then see play live professionally. That would be like such a cool. That would be like a highlight of my career. Even though like
Oh.
I never personally coached you, but I've seen you grow like so much. So it's like I was there when you were here, and it's like it's
Mhm.
cool. That's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Um, so last question is if you were talking to your teenage self,
Mhm.
what advice or lessons would you give young Lauren?
Mm. The biggest, or not the biggest, the first thing that I would say is don't be in such a rush. Like, don't be in a rush to get to the next grade or be in a rush to be the senior and the big person on campus and then be in the rush to go to college. Like, just enjoy where you are and just take time to take in where you are now. Like my strength coach at Baylor, who actually works at Woodward and knows Tad now.
No way.
Yeah, he would always say like be where your feet are. And I think that is something that is really important because when you're younger, you're always wanting to be older and do what the older kids do. And
Yeah.
then once you get older, you're like, oh, I wish I could go back to that
Yeah, yeah, I feel that
younger
right
age.
now.
Yeah, so I would say just be where your feet are and live in the moment. That's the biggest thing.
That's great advice. Thank you, Lauren. So if people wanted to find you and follow you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at I am Lauren 18.